Throughout his life, Jack Lemmon tried to hide his personal demons. Then, during a 1974 awards ceremony, his darkest secret slipped out in the most disturbing way. Jack Lemmon's birth in 1925 sounds like the inspiration for a comedy sketch. His pregnant mother Millie was playing bridge and began feeling some pain. She couldn't tear herself away from the cards until eventually she realised the pains were labour pains, even though she wasn't due for 2 months. She rushed to the hospital but didn't quite make it to a bed, which is why Jack Lemmon was born in an elevator. His parents had a difficult relationship, and as a child, Lemmon got it into his head that his behaviour may have an effect on his parents' failing marriage. He thought that if he always acted happy and didn't create problems, his parents would stay together. Even though his logic was flawed, it kind of worked. His parents never divorced, only separating when he was 18 years old, despite their marriage being so fractured that they spent most of Jack's childhood sleeping in separate rooms. Still, these trials turned Lemmon into an almost pathologically happy kid. Well, at least on the surface. By the time Lemmon was 12 years old, he'd spent an astonishing total of 2 years in the hospital, both for general ill health and problems with his hearing. Lemmon attended Harvard College and did something that few successful people do. Not much. To make up for his slacking in academics, Lemmon focused on track sports and acting. At one point, however, his grades were so poor that the school put him on probation, meaning he could no longer participate in any theatrical productions. He may have been unexceptional, but he came up with an ingenious way around this rule. Even though the school forbade Lemmon from acting, he found a way to do it anyway. He came up with a pseudonym to get on the stage, and Lemmon, always the comedian, called himself Timothy Orange. Eventually, Lemmon transferred from Harvard College to the Navy College training program. Unfortunately for him, something unexpected happened. World War II broke out. Luckily, he didn't encounter any actual battle, but the worldwide conflict did set his career back. So, after he finally got his degree, he decided to make his way directly toward doing something that he really cared about: acting. But Lemmon's father had other plans for him. His father had always been in the baking business and thought his son would do well following in his footsteps. Lemmon had to disappoint him, but get this, instead of Dad being furious, he handed his son $300 and wished him a happy future. As he was getting his career started, Lemmon ran into a complication. While doing a string of radio and television grunt work, he met the struggling actress Cynthia Stone and fell in love. They married in 1950, but from the very beginning, this was no fairy tale. Jack's mother was supposed to make her own way to the wedding, but she didn't turn up to the ceremony, and the reason was worse than anyone thought. For some time now, Millie Lemmon had been indulging too much in drinking at home alone. While inebriated, she tried to cook a meal on the gas stove and forgot about it. Luckily, neighbours smelled the gas and saved her life. After his disastrous wedding, Lemmon's career, at least, was continuing to soar. His big Broadway break as the lead on a production of Room Service closed after just 2 weeks, but something momentous came of it. A talent scout who happened to be in the audience one night thought Lemmon had star power and brought him to Columbia executive Harry Cohn, the head of the studio. Cohn was interested in Lemmon, but there was one thing he couldn't stand: his name. Cohn demanded he change it to avoid giving critics obvious wordplay opportunities when giving bad reviews. Instead, Cohn wanted it to be Lennon, like with 2 N's. Harry Cohn was a scary man and tended to get whatever he wanted, so he was shocked when Lemmon said no. Eventually, Jack convinced him that if he changed his name to Lennon, people might confuse it with Vladimir Lenin, and that would be a whole different problem. With his name intact, Cohn soon put Lemmon in his first film, 1954's It Should Happen to You. There was only one problem. Director George Cukor thought that Lemmon's acting was awful. It turned out that Jack was a bit of an over-actor. Cukor took him aside and taught him a valuable lesson: less is more. Lemmon later said that it was this advice that defined his career. The film turned out to be a hit, which brought Lemmon to a scary place. Now that he was a star in the making, he had to negotiate a contract with the notoriously shrewd Harry Cohn. Somehow though, Lemon came out on top again. He signed a 7-year contract, but got something most studio actors could only dream about: the freedom to work on other projects away from Columbia. This was almost unheard of in Hollywood at the time. One day Lemon was hanging around the Columbia studio lot when a stranger struck up a conversation. The man had a film project on the go and nonchalantly asked Lemon if he had any interest in a role. Lemon didn't realise